Catherine story. Chapter 1. He is a short man with kind eyes. "I'm glad you decided to come," he says, as I shake his hand. "You might be more comfortable on the couch, or if you prefer, there's always the chair." I sit opposite him in the chair. I'm not ready for the couch. "I want you to feel perfectly relaxed during these sessions," he says, switching on a small recording machine. "You don't mind? I always find it easier than writing notes." I shake my head and look out of the window. Although it's still early afternoon, the sky is grey, a nothing colour, which leaches light from the room. He presses the button on a desk lamp, then disappears behind it, leaving me bathed in a yellow glow. "Very well." His tone is cheerful, upbeat. "When you're ready, let's start at the beginning, shall we?" Beginnings are always difficult. Where should I begin, especially now, after all that has happened? He's waiting. There's no pressure, and the decision is mine. Taking a deep breath, I start my story. I suppose it began when I moved away from home. University wasn't an option I wished to consider, so I enrolled on a crash 3-month office management course at a college for further education in Bristol. After I qualified, I rang my aunt, with whom I lived, who said it was up to me what I decided to do. Financially in a comfortable position, thanks to the inheritance from my parents, I relished the freedom of being able to go wherever I wished. So I stuck a pin in a map of the British Isles, and it landed on Lockford, a town on the south coast. Yes, you could say that was the beginning. I remember it was raining. It was Mason Trent's birthday, and I was hurrying back from the bakery with a tray full of doughnuts when I tripped over a raised paving stone and fell headlong into the arms of Jason Rayner.
"Steady,"
he said, rescuing the doughnuts with one hand and me with the other. I thought he had the bluest eyes I'd ever seen, although perhaps even those were a fantasy too.
"Let me give you a hand,"
he offered.
"Where are you going?"
"Arbuthnot-on-Trent, just over there." He carried the tray across the road, dodging the puddles, then handed it back to me. In the office doorway, he leaned against the door to open it, and stood back as I edged past him.
"Can I give you a ring sometime?"
he asked. I nodded, and he made a note of the telephone number, which he took from the sign on the window.
"By the way, what's your name?"
"Kate Newson," I answered, without turning around. I didn't think any more about the encounter. No, that's not quite right. I dreamed about him that night, but in the morning, his face vanished like a breath on a mirror, and I wondered if I'd imagined those blue eyes. The next day, I was in the middle of filing a pile of court reports when the telephone rang. "Arbuthnot-on-Trent, Kate Newson speaking. How may I help you?"
"You can start by letting me take you out to dinner,"
he said. I pretended not to know who was speaking, and I heard him sigh.
"How many dinner invitations do you get at 10 past 10 on a Wednesday morning, Miss Newson?"
"I'm not sure that's any of your business," I replied firmly.
"Well then, if you've decided that the answer is yes, I'd be delighted to have dinner with you on Saturday night, Jason. Then I'll see you at 8 in the Bell on the corner of High Street and Manor Road." The telephone line clicked, and I was left listening to the dialling tone. He wasn't uppermost in my mind throughout that day or the next, but when Friday arrived, I couldn't stop thinking about him. Would I go, or would I leave him sitting at the bar of the Bell, wondering